Pancake everyone! The ocean is a mysterious and largely unexplored place. The depths of the sea often hide amazing and incredible things and phenomena. Right now, at the bottom of the ocean, there is an ancient lost city, and we're not talking about Atlantis here. In this video, we will delve into the fascinating world of the most unusual discoveries in the ocean. Enjoy watching. The most grand, astonishing, and significant discoveries for the study of human history are undoubtedly the submerged cities. In 1986, a diver named Kiichiro Arataki, who went underwater to observe sharks, discovered a huge underwater monument measuring at least 60 meters in length and 50 meters in width. It was named Yonaguni after the nearby island in the Sea of Japan. The discovery sparked heated debates among various scientists. Some claim that the monument is the remains of an ancient global civilization destroyed by earthquakes, while others believe it is simply a natural formation that resembles a pyramid. Over a period of 20 years, Masaki Kimura, a professor of marine geology and seismology, studied the discovered monument. During this time, he found remnants of tool marks, drainage channels, stairs, gates, and sculptures resembling human figures. All of this led the scientists to believe that Yonaguni is an ancient submerged city with an age of at least 2,000 to 3,000 years. However, another geologist, a professor from Boston University who has also dived the site, believes that all the traces found by Kimura are simply natural erosion. After all, there have been cases in history where nature created even more beautiful and unusual formations. It is likely that this discovery will continue to spark heated debates and disagreements among scientists for many years to come. Any evidence supporting the theory of an ancient submerged city can give rise to new hypotheses and counter-arguments. And Kimura's theory could very well be correct. There have been cases where divers and scientists have found ancient underwater cities with more plausible evidence of their existence. The ancient Egyptian temple city of Herakleion was discovered in 2000 by archaeologist Frank Gaudia. Over 2,000 years ago, the port city of Herakleion, located at the mouth of the Nile, was considered the gateway to Egypt. Ships entered and left the country through this port. But today, the city no longer exists. It lies on the seabed at a depth of 6 meters in the Bay of Abu Qir. It is believed that Herakleion disappeared in an instant. In the 1st century BC, a powerful earthquake occurred, triggering a tsunami. The natural earthquake leveled the houses, submerged the ships, and claimed thousands of lives. As a result, a huge temple of Hercules, colossal statues, sphinxes, ancient coins, jewelry, sarcophagi, bronze figurines, ancient ships, and anchors ended up underwater. Each of them holds memories of a long-forgotten way of life of an ancient civilization. Archaeologists have only explored a small part of the city, which, according to Frank Gaudia's estimates, is 3 times larger than Pompeii. The scientist predicts that in the near future we can expect great and captivating discoveries. Note: the translation is an accurate representation of the original text in Russian, while ensuring it is understandable to a native English speaker. But not only ancient submerged cities hold true treasures. Sometimes sunken ships filled with precious gemstones, gold, coins, and ancient artifacts are found on the seabed. The most valuable and historically significant treasure was discovered quite recently, in 2015. American treasure hunter Mel Fisher began searching for the Spanish galleon Nuestra Señora de Atocha back in 1970. This ship, with tragic consequences for its crew, sank in a fierce storm off the coast of Florida nearly 350 years earlier, in distant 1622, and it was only after 4 centuries that it was finally found. However, it's not the ship itself that makes this discovery the most expensive in history, but its cargo. Before its demise, the ship was carrying various valuables, including a lot of gold, silver, and gemstones. The cargo is currently estimated to be worth $17 billion. According to the inventory of treasures aboard the Atocha, which was found in Spanish archives, there are even more resting on the seabed than what has been discovered, especially considering that storm debris from other ships got mixed with the remains of the Atocha, and among these fragments, other treasures attributed to different ships can be found. Mel Fisher was awarded the title King of the Underwater World for this discovery. As for the dispute over which country should claim such wealth, Spain, the United States, or Colombia, where the galleon was found, it continues to this day. Treasure hunting is undoubtedly part of world history, and a very important one. To some extent, this field can be compared to archaeology. True professional treasure hunters don't act randomly. They conduct thorough research on the location of treasures in archives, retrieve long-forgotten documents, and classify them. J. Miskovich, a professional diver and treasure hunter, has also dedicated a significant part of his life to the search for treasures, and he managed to find them, and what treasures they were. The man discovered a large number of emeralds on the seabed of a bay off the coast of Florida. The value of the gemstones exceeded $1 million, but the find didn't make its owner happy. Moreover, the discovered treasure became one of the strangest in history due to the disputes that arose as a result. The emeralds entangled Miskovich in legal battles. The government and scientists couldn't determine how the precious stones ended up at the bottom of the Florida Bay. The court's ruling only granted temporary ownership of the emeralds to the man, and for this reason he couldn't become rich by selling the treasure. The story becomes even sadder and even eerie when you learn that Miskovich took his own life, leaving many questions unanswered. Some people said that he couldn't wait any longer to take possession of what he had found because he was deeply in debt. Others claimed that the fact that he was embroiled in a federal investigation was his breaking point. And some even believed that these emeralds were cursed. Unfortunately, we will never know the truth now. But it's not only gold, gemstones, and ancient structures that hold value. An astonishing and very strange discovery was made in 2015 by a recreational diver in the Atlantic Ocean. Treasure hunter John Crow from Nova Scotia found an unusual green bottle with an unknown murky liquid while diving. The bottle appeared quite old, and the diver managed to read the inscription on the cork. It said Kate's Brewery. Expert analysis showed that the vessel was at least 125 years old, and it did contain real beer. And surprisingly, it was still quite tasty. Yes, John Crow enlisted the support of Christopher Reynolds, co-owner of the Stillwell Beer Bar, and Andrew McIntosh from Dalhousie University, specializing in fermentation research. The men decided to taste the contents of the bottle together to confirm that it was indeed beer and not seawater. The experiment was successful. Furthermore, this unusual find allowed scientists to determine the chemical substances used over 100 years ago in the preparation of this beverage. Undoubtedly, it has scientific value. In general, old bottles in the ocean are not uncommon. In the past, bottles with coordinates written inside were thrown overboard during expeditions. This strange action helped verify the existence of underwater currents. But not all objects found in the oceans and seas are man-made. Some, like the Yonaguni Monument, also generate a lot of controversy regarding their origin. For example, at the bottom of the Baltic Sea, there is a strange object. It is a huge round disc made of a material that appears to be stone, although its composition is still unknown. There is a noticeable hole in the center of the disc, leading to a staircase that goes down somewhere. The object is striking in its size, shape, and unknown origin, which is why it has been called the Baltic Sea Anomaly. The discovery made in June 2011 immediately caught the interest of everyone, from historians, archaeologists, and biologists to ufologists. The most incredible assumptions were put forward about what this object actually is: a World War II anti-submarine weapon, a massive tower from a sunken ship, or even a sunken flying saucer. However, the truth still remains a mystery. Some scientists also claim that the Baltic Sea Anomaly is simply a peculiarly shaped rock formation. Professor Volker Brückert, a geologist expert from Stockholm University, believes that the object lying on the bottom of the Bothnian Bay most likely has a geological origin. As the expert noted, the Baltic Sea is a result of the passage of a glacier through that area, which later melted and gave rise to the formation of the sea. Therefore, the Baltic Sea Anomaly was brought into the sea by the glacier and acquired its peculiar shape thanks to it. It's not hard to believe in this theory. After all, nature truly sometimes creates amazing and unimaginable things. Imagine diving with scuba gear into crystal clear, transparent water practically free from any floating particles. And it feels like you're not swimming but rather floating in the air. That's the sensation you get when diving in the Angelita cenote located in Mexico. A cenote is a well-like formation that resulted from the collapse of a cave ceiling where underground waters flow. And the Angelita cenote is not the only natural formation of its kind. It is certainly impressive in size with a depth of 55 meters. But what makes it truly special is not its size, but rather the mysterious, surreal spectacle that awaits at a depth of 27 meters. This mesmerizing phenomenon is an underground river. It looks as if it were a regular river, with its banks, trees and shrubs along the sides. There is even a peculiar bridge made of large driftwood. However, it is not a real river in the literal sense, but rather an illusion created by a unique composition of the water. Since the Angelita cenote combines both fresh and salt water, the different densities of these two types of water cause the fresh water to float on the upper layer, while the salt water sinks to the bottom, creating this unusual phenomenon. You won't be able to observe a no less fascinating natural phenomenon while scuba diving without careful preparation. After all, it exists only in the icy waters of the polar oceans of our planet. Brinicle, also known as the ice finger of death, is a natural phenomenon first discovered by oceanographer Martin Seeley in 1974. It is a marine icicle formed beneath the ocean's ice cover, and it does indeed resemble an icicle. However, it is not made of ice. When the surface of salt water freezes, the composition and concentration of salt in the water beneath the ice crust change. During the formation of ice, all impurities, including salt, are pushed out. As a result, the water beneath the ice becomes saltier and denser. The increased salt concentration lowers the freezing temperature, and the increased density causes the water to become heavier, causing it to sink. This descending flow of salt water with an extremely cold temperature forms an ice channel in the shape of a tube. Inside the channel is very salty and extremely cold water, which is sucked from the depths of the sea ice, and it looks truly beautiful and unusual. However, this beauty is deadly to all ocean inhabitants. It is no wonder that Brinicle is also called the ice finger of death. In the event that Brinicle manages to reach the seafloor, it does not stop there, but continues to grow towards the lower level of the seafloor. It is capable of killing all living things in its path, even relatively large organisms. However, more often than not, its victims are sea stars, fish and algae. To witness such a phenomenon firsthand, thorough preparation is required. However, in the modern world, an ordinary person can become familiar with this phenomenon through photographs. In addition to unusual phenomena, nature also creates unique animals and fish that inhabit the oceans. Some of them have been known to humanity for hundreds of years, while others have been discovered relatively recently. For example, sea angels are both beautiful and horrifying ancient marine mollusks that have lost their shells through evolution. Instead, they have acquired beautiful transparent wings. The size of these creatures doesn't exceed 5 centimeters. But this doesn't prevent them from fulfilling an important mission: ridding the ocean of sea devils, which are water-dwelling snails. During an attack, the sea angel transforms into a tiny, almost non-threatening creature with 6 tentacles. It uses these tentacles to capture its prey. Interestingly, the sea devil is unable to retreat into its shell to protect itself. The sea angel will reach it there as well. However, the mollusks themselves are not consumed in the ocean, because they release a special enzyme that makes them taste unpleasant and even inedible. Arctic waters also harbor other mysteries. For instance, in 2007, Canadian paleobiologist Natalia Rybczynski and her team discovered the remains of an ancient mammal underwater, which was given the name Darwin's Puijila. Bone analysis revealed that this creature lived 24 million years ago and had the proportions of an otter, a seal-like skull, webbed feet, and a beautiful long tail. Puijila was adapted to both terrestrial and aquatic lifestyles. It is considered an unknown intermediate link between terrestrial predatory mammals and seals. Only one skeleton of this unusual creature exists, and it is housed in the Canadian Museum of Nature in Ottawa, Ontario. But the most mysterious discovery ever made on the ocean shore is undoubtedly the Globster. To be more precise, it is not a singular find, but rather a series of puzzling discoveries in different parts of the world. A globster is an unidentified carcass washed ashore. Biologists from around the world are actively striving to name these creatures, but more often than not, no one can accurately determine what they actually are. Globsters can have different shapes, colors, and sizes. They often lack bones or any other organs that would allow for identification. For example, in November 1896, such a creature was washed ashore near St. Augustine, Florida. The carcass was approximately 5 meters long, 2 meters wide, half a meter thick, and weighed about 5 tons. The globster consisted of a rubbery pinkish-gray substance, which led many to believe it was the remains of a giant octopus. The creature's apparent tentacles, some of which were over 9 meters long, further supported this theory. In May 1988, another unusual globster was discovered on Mangrove Bay Beach in the Bermuda Islands. This specimen had dimensions of approximately 1 meter in width and a fibrous texture, perplexing those who encountered it. The strange appearance of this creature generated numerous theories, ranging from an unknown deep-sea organism to extraterrestrial life forms. However, subsequent investigations revealed that the Bermuda blob was most likely the decomposing remains of a whale. A stormy night in 1808 brought yet another monster to the shores of the Orkney Islands in Scotland. With a length of 16.8 meters, it was the longest globster on record, and locals speculated that it had no tail, suggesting that it would have been even larger in life. It had 3 pairs of fin-like appendages fringed with bristles, and a mane of bristles on its back. Astonishingly, several witnesses claimed that the bristles emitted light in the dark. Representatives of the Edinburgh Society of Natural History were unable to identify this creature. Thus, some documented globsters turned out to be remains of known marine animals such as whales, sharks, and squid. Others, however, remain an unsolved mystery. The ocean holds many secrets and enigmas. Nearly all the discoveries mentioned in this video were made quite recently. Sunken ships, submerged cities, unusual creatures, and other unique artifacts. What else lies hidden beneath the depths of the water? The ocean covers approximately 71% of the Earth's surface, yet only about 5% of the seabed has been explored. This means that there are still countless astonishing and incredible discoveries awaiting us. Thank you for watching.